We had the biggest liquidation event in crypto that I've ever seen. I don't know what volume and like dollar amounts we talk about, but when we talk about price action, things got extremely crazy. And first of all, I hope everyone is okay. I hope you guys survived and weren't leveraged to the tits and didn't get a too big hit on this. But actually, there's a lot of opportunity also in this dump. And I was actually discussing it last night in Discord that I see the correction happening. Obviously, it was because of the Trump announcement for tariffs on China. But I'm still holding out on entering any new positions because I'm expecting a typical flush that we haven't had in this consolidation of Bitcoin. And that hasn't happened yet. And obviously, now that it has happened, now I think it's great to start discussing it and preparing with plans and probabilities. And after you lick your wounds and you cry about this, okay, now what do we do? Where do we make the money on this move, and how I would be positioning myself, because I've been preparing for something like this. So let's start with the news real quick. Trump, after announcing that China is not keeping a deal or whatever with precious metals, he said that he's planning to impose tariffs. And then just a little bit later, the same day, he announced that there will be an extra 100% tariff on imports starting November 1st, if I remember. Yeah, there we go. And that, I think, was the main trigger for the liquidation event, because we started selling off on the news that he will impose tariffs, but the liquidation happened a little bit later during when I was sleeping, which in a way was good. And this is what we are. This is where we are right now. So let's just zoom out for a bit. Out of all the panic and so on, Bitcoin is actually looking very good, especially compared to altcoins. But Bitcoin just tested the range low, I would say here, about 107. I actually had an order sitting here that got filled about 107. I didn't mention it in Discord just because I was sleeping and I cannot tell you guys that it hit, but it was somewhere around here. On this chart on Coinbase, it does look like it just barely touched it. Let me see Binance, because this is where the order was sitting. No, it's not loading. I don't know why. Okay, there it is. Yeah, on Binance, pretty much also. I don't know why it doesn't show here. Oh, it's the US dollar. I traded the USDC pair. There we go. So it should be somewhere here. Yeah, okay, so we got even to 102 here on Binance, but my entry was, as I said, about 107. And I'm just sitting on it for now. And I also got some ETH. Wasn't the greatest entry. I still hold this position, by the way. I haven't closed it. It's pretty much now at my stop loss level. This is all spot, by the way. I didn't get liquidated. Overall, my exposure is relatively low, just because I had this feeling that something like this could happen, and I was waiting for either a breakout on the all-time highs to load up more on, or something like this where it will give me a bit more confidence. So fortunately, I avoid generally trading leverage, but also my spot positions didn't get wrecked. I had an order sitting here somewhere around this level, so 3.72, somewhere around here. So it's not the greatest entries on both. But I'm still holding, and let's see what happens. Because for me, the first scenario I want to discuss is we broke through many levels, but on Bitcoin we're still holding very clear structure. I mean, if you told me yesterday that we'll have the biggest flush in crypto history, and we're still going to be sitting at 112, and we still kept bullish structure, we haven't broken any kind of support level, that would be crazy. That would be as bullish as it gets, especially getting on the back of Trump news. Because if this was something like a black swan or whatever, okay, then I really get worried. But when it's again a tariff announcement on Trump, I mean, it's like how many of those we've had, and these have usually bounced pretty hard at some point because he switches his tactics. And right now, I do believe there's a big chance that this for him is just another negotiating tactic, and at some point it will either diminish or it will lose staying power in the news, and people will just get bored and will start trading higher and higher. But if you told me like will be the structure after such a flush, I'll get it just extremely bullish. And what we can do very easily here is just delete all these levels and just keep the range here on Bitcoin. This is the daily chart, but the weekly also looks pretty similar. So after the all-time high fake out, we're still in the range. Now we tested the lows, and now the big question is what happens from here. And I think the first scenario we need to discuss is a slow bleed towards this support level here. I think this has happened in the past for Bitcoin. It likes to do this to fill this wicks just before decides where it's gonna move. But I think that even if you didn't get positioned and you're annoyed that you didn't get buy the dip, or you are scared and so on, I don't think that's a bad thing. To be honest, I think we will get an opportunity for this to resolve. Unless, of course, on Monday, Trump comes out and says, oh, if everything's fine, no tariffs on China, then we could probably see a V-shaped reversal like we did here, but in the opposite. No, it was actually the same direction here on this dump. So we had the tariffs, and then we had the announcement of the reserve, and we bounced very quickly in just a few days. So this could happen, of course, because this is Trump, but I'm betting more on something like this happening. So let me just show you. This flush, we didn't get the fill. We did a bit later, but doesn't count because it wasn't immediate. But even here on this one, we did fill the wick. Although it was very volatile, you could see that we got a bounce, but after that, at some point, we got to fill the wick, and then obviously tested it another time. But I'm looking for something like this. So potentially, I think the first scenario here is that we get something like this. Let me just see back in history. There you go. Another big liquidation at a key zone here. We ran the lows. This was like 53, 54. We even got to 50. We ran the 50 zone. And then a few weeks later, we filled up partially the wick. And then we started going for real, not just retesting this. So in a way, I think this is a very plausible scenario. And generally, like in the system that I trade, I could see us getting maybe another run down. Again, depends on the chart that you're looking at. Just look at some other perp charts, because this is a Coinbase spot chart. BTC, USDT, let's see, Bybit, I think had the biggest liquidations. There you go. Yeah, pretty nasty. This got to $100,000. So if you had sitting orders, I used to have sitting orders around 100K, but I removed them. On Bybit around this level, that would be generational buy. So really depends where you're looking at, but I really hope we don't fill the wicks on these ones specifically. But even if we use this chart as a base, again, I think this level is pretty crucial here to maybe get back down to it and hold. This will be the first level that I'll be looking to trade around, and then see what happens. I'm not gonna rush here and just blindly buy. If we get a touch here, I'm not blindly buying. I want to see reversal, or maybe we lose it, we reclaim it. This is the bullish scenario, obviously, and then we move towards the new all-time highs potentially as a scenario. But this is the first thing that I'll be looking for. So no rush right now. Just see what's going on. See if the tokens you're liking are getting some base around them and not just continuously bleeding down. We're seeing some bounces already on some outs. We're going to look at some outs in a bit, but I just want to give you the general strategies right now for doing this. Now, there's a real risk that obviously we break down for real, and maybe we retest this level and continue selling off. This I don't want to see, honestly. I just don't want to see this. This for me will be the sign of weakness. You could argue that, like, even if we get to 100K, then it will be like if we break 100K and keep below 100K, that will be the end of the bull market. And I honestly agree with this, but I would be very cautious if we start breaking this level. So even the position that I have right now on Bitcoin, I'm willing to hold it for a bit and see if we're gonna like get a bounce on the hourly charts, the 4 hour, the 1 hour. If we keep bouncing here, I will probably keep it. If not, I'll be looking to just sell and see what happens, because I'm not in that big of a game. It's like just a few percentage points right now, 5% or so of gains that I can very easily see myself giving back because of such scenario playing out, and then potentially going lower. So I'm just monitoring for now, and just waiting for the market to make up its mind. But if we start breaking down, I'll be definitely on the more cautious side and just wait for the reclaim, because this will also be a very easy trade. If we lose this, at the time we reclaim it at some point, it might take a month or so. If we reclaim it at all, I would be looking to trade this level again, just because of the touches, and obviously, as you could see, spots didn't get wrecked here that much. At least not on that many charts. So yeah, this is the more bearish, not the more bearish, I would say this is the base scenario and the bearish scenario if you break this level down. However, we could just chop around here for some time. Again, as I say, it's very, very Trump dependent right now, as it was back in here. He could say anything and this thing could just moon. So just be prepared for this. But I'll be looking again for structure changes here on the bullish side to see if we hold this and maybe do something like this. So let's draw it. So on the hourly, you see us chop, 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 bleed, bleed. Maybe we get something like this, claim back 115 and then retest it and then continue. So this, I believe, is also a scenario you should be looking for on the bullish side. And then obviously you could buy the dip here or whichever one you like on the many coins and charts that got wrecked pretty badly. For example, Ethereum. As I said, I'm still holding this, but again, if I see weakness and this trying to bleed down to, let's say, 3,000 or whatever, I'm just gonna hold. I'm just gonna close it for now, the entire position. So the one that I bought originally here on this retest of 4,000, and the one that I just have, which is pretty much at break even right now. So I'm very cautious about this level here holding, especially on the daily. On the 4-hour, looks like we're starting to see the signs of a breakdown, but look at these weeks. We gotta look at this a little bit in detail on some outs, but this is, I think, more important right now. But if it starts showing weakness, I'm just gonna cut it, sit back. Again, very clear levels to work around. This is 3.8, 4K obviously as key zone here. You don't need to overcomplicate it. I think Solana also got wrecked pretty bad. Where is it on my list? There you go. It got 170 on this chart, but I think on many other charts, this thing got pretty wrecked. USDT, let's see. Bybit spot, no. Where are the perpetuals? There you go. Okay, this got to 145 here. So pretty aggressive wick. It's still trading below 185. So again, very clear level around 200. Reclaim it, and obviously you can buy. No, we could just bleed out for days, weeks. Who the hell knows? So just keep an eye on this. And then I'm looking for hype. I did average a bit in the 40s. I didn't think, I have to double check, but I don't think I had any orders sitting here around 30. That would be a nice buy. Next level that I was looking at. But anyway, again, if this reclaims, very clear setup. And let's just look at Pengu. I also had some Pengu. Just look at this. I'm still holding. This is spot exposure for me. I would just wait a bit more to see if we get a retest here, because I could see this retesting and potentially continuing to sell off, which for me will be a no-no, and I'll look to sell. But we could just reclaim it, or we could just bleed out here. So I would just monitor again as Ethereum. It's a small position, obviously, and it's spot, so I have the luxury of holding it out for now. But technically, it has broken down. But just because of the circumstances, I'll just wait a bit and see what happens here, and then close it. Technically, I'll be losing 16% on the position, 17 or 18 right now. So a bit more than I anticipated somewhere here. But that's life, If this is the only hit I take, that would be great. That would be just amazing for me. So, but let's see on the 5-minute chart. Just look at this thing. So after it started accelerating, it was down 79%, 79% this thing down in about 3 candles. So this was a 5 minute, 5 minute, and then it bottomed and reversed. Crazy, just crazy. And I think some of those got wrecked even worse. Like this is pump on KuCoin. So after the dump started, 69%. Okay, so this wasn't that bad, at least on this exchange. Uh, and then of course you could see the bounce. So somebody that caught this, let's see if the 1 minute chart. How long did we spend there? Was it worth like be able to even hit this? Because I think a lot of exchanges were down in typical crypto fashion. But if you got some fills here, you're sitting on 2x right now. That's crazy. I don't know if anybody did that, obviously, but this looks good. And there are also some other coins that didn't get that affected, like for example, Aster. This is one that I'm interested in. Obviously, it did get wrecked, but it doesn't look that bad. It didn't lose that many levels. It's just 49% down. Was actually, now it's just, but again, nice level to reclaim. I'm looking for this because of the CZ crime that I think will continue, and this will potentially pump. Fartcoin also got wrecked. Imagine this. I think there are people that got pretty wrecked on this, and I'll tell you why. Because this is a favorite coin on Twitter, and even if you bought the bottom here on leverage and you held it, you could have might very well be liquidated if your stop loss was somewhere here. So crazy stuff, guys. Like even the people with very low leverage, like 2-3x, probably got liquidated in some position. So I've never ever seen something like this. We usually see like drops like 50%, 60%, but across the board, like 70, 80% drops. That is really crazy, in my opinion. Even Bonk, like from the 79, 80%. That's just crazy. And then you get like something like Go AI. Okay, it's just look at this wick. Like, what the fuck happened here? Seriously. Like, I don't know even what to say. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, guys, this is the strategy. And if you want to kind of trade around altcoins, I think this could trigger a nice run, because now everybody's like, oh, altcoins are dead, no out season, blah blah blah, all this shit. You can see the bounces. The bounces are already, in fact, happening. And something that is like Pengu, for example, I could see this just because of the flush. It would take time to recover, but I could definitely see this recovering, keeping structure, and potentially getting on a proper run. Because if we like, these are the good conditions for a potential out season, or I don't even want to call it out season, but just you know what I mean. Because now everybody that's over leveraged is liquidated. Everybody got wrecked. Everybody's like, no, fuck coins, fuck altcoins. We don't want to do this. It's over, and so on, so on. And this is the best moment to kind of flip the switch and be thinking on the contrarian side. Okay, where's the opportunity? Where could I park money now with a decent chart and risk to reward, where I could potentially see the biggest upside now that everybody is up in the air and probably calling the end of crypto. I think that's very, very important. Same as the all-time high here. Like I was discussing this in chat, but we had so many days in green on Bitcoin into the all-time high, and then we had this fake out here. I was like a little bit cautious. I was expecting, either a consolidation here or this drop lower that we just had. So I think now is the time to flip the switch and start thinking of opportunity and potentially looking for the best setups out there. Yeah, so that's it. As always, stay safe, and if you have any questions, you know how to find me. Oops. How do I shut this off? It's been a while, huh?